Did you see the control box anywhere outside? No.
What kind of control box?
Like power box? Or...
Oh, we'll find it. It'll be usually on a pole with the meter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's going to be in there. Good. Okay. Up off the ground now.
It is.
Holy cow.
That's why I was like, dang. Oh, there it is.
You got it?
Well, I think, yep, right there. That pole right there.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. So you got underground service coming, which is nice. You don't have the
Yeah, I hate the
wire
cables.
strung up and over. This is, of course, a 200 amp service box. Alrighty. First thing is this inner cover is missing. And when I take that cover off, you're supposed to have a metal cover here that you just see the breakers through. So that's a safety hazard. So that's something we'll document. Now, is this a as-is buy? Or
Yeah.
It is? Okay. So I'll tell you everything there should be. You can decide, you know, what's important to you and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But technically, as far as the electrical code goes, you shouldn't be able to take the cover off and have all the wire exposed, you know. And there's supposed to be an inner cover. It screws in right here, you know. And it just sits with a cutout, you know, those little knockouts, you know, for the thing there. We've got...
So it looks like you put two more big breakers in there.
You can. Technically, the electrical code that we work under doesn't require us to have one single main breaker.
Right.
Okay? So you can have up to 6. Okay? Now this one, the big 200 amp here, feeds the mobile home. Okay? So we shut that off. Everything in the home is off.
Right.
All right? But this 40 is saying, of course, nothing's labeled, so we don't know, you know, exactly well. You got another 100 amp here, which is pretty good size service. My assumption would be it probably goes to one of the outbuildings.
Okay.
Okay, that would be my guess. And the 40 amp, who knows? The other problem you've got with the 40 amp right here is, see, you've got 2 and 2 on that. That's called double tapping. Again, it's not supposed to be done that way. For every lug, every screw down lug that you have, one wire per lug.
Now,
See, and they've got 2 of them crammed in there.
Yeah, but one's on each different. So black and white won't go in there. Just a white.
Right. If you separated them, and you know, you would do a black and a white, and then a black and a white. You know, because they're 220. When you got the black like this, it's a 220 service.
You can't put another one of these in here, though, right?
Sure you can. You've got room in this, but this one takes up, because it's so big.
Right.
Takes up what normally be 2 spaces like this. So this box is designed for 2, 2, and 2. Like that is how it's designed. So, you've got to first determine what these service, you know, what they serve, but then you would want to split it. And see, this is a 40 amp, you know, probably with the size of your wire here, your other thing, it could be a well pump, it could be anything, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But figure out what it is. Usually it'll tell you what size service you need. You know, say it's a well pump, like a yard pump or something.
Yeah, they got one of those.
They're usually 20 amps. Is what you have for those. You know what I mean? If it's an AC condenser or a water heater or something like that, you know, they're 30 amps. So it just depends on what it's servicing, okay? But all you'd have to do is just, you know, snap another breaker in and just move the wires down to it. So fixing it's not really that hard or difficult.
Right.
It's
well,
really
I got
not.
a buddy who's
But, yeah, but it'll be an easy fix for him.
Well, they ain't gonna fix it down as
Yeah. Since you're as is here, and the other thing,
I'm pretty sure those wires that are going out of the thing should be in some type of pipe.
Conduit.
What's that?
No, well,
actually, no. You're not required to be in a conduit.
It's just,
you're really not.
It's just the ones that I put at the house. I put it there just to be safer.
Now you should have it buried.
Yeah. Well, he knows because he had to dig holes for me.
Yeah.
I
mean, it should be buried because, I mean, you can mow this. I mean, you know, that's not a great idea. The other thing that I am not seeing is you've got this. It just goes to here. You don't have a proper ground wire on here either.
Huh.
Nope, you are not proper. You've got this wire here that goes to your grounding bar here.
Right.
But it just goes right over to here.
Okay.
You've got to have a wire that connects to either here or here that just comes down into the ground.
Right.
No, wait, here it is, here it is, here it is. There it is.
Okay.
All right, I'm good. All right, here it goes. All right, and it goes right into the ground. There's your grounding rod. So,
Okay.
all right, we're cool. We're cool. Okay.
All right.
So, so the issues we've got here are the cover, the double tapping, and you need to get this buried.
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem with getting that buried is it connected? To
Well, see, you can unconnect it like we did the other one, you know?
Yeah.
And we just put it.
If you need
it
to
too.
lengthen it.
But this
or-
time we will use baby powder inside the darn pipe.
Did we learn that lesson? Did
Yeah,
we?
we learned that lesson.
Yeah. This is it right here. This is the
Okay.
one. This is the one here.
Okay.
That's this one.
Just
Okay.
want to make sure.
So, but yeah. So, and the surface itself is fine. Yeah. The wires themselves. I mean, you know, part of what we're looking at is see, this one looks like it's got a little. I don't know. That's not a scorch mark.
Yeah, I can't touch any wires because ever since I put a bobby pin in outlet when I was younger, me and electricity just don't work
Don't get
together.
along.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
Oh, they're leaving. Oh, no, maybe they're not because Grandpa likes chickens.
What's the idea of this fence like right here and then
It's so you go walk around it.
But the funny thing is, it's a gate.
Yeah.
I'm guessing at some point they must have had a fence up here or something.
Yeah.
It's just the remnants of something left over usually. Guess it's a gate. It's not just
You
a
don't know,
fence.
by any chance, you wouldn't know about with the well about around here, how deep they have to go.
Well, what kind of pump do we have? What kind of well pump do we
I'll show
have?
you.
I can't tell you the feet, but
Right.
I can tell you if it's a deep or shallow well. If it's a submersible pump,
No.
no? All right. Then that's going to tell you, if it's not a submersible pump, then that's going to tell you you've got a pretty shallow well. So,
Well, I could be wrong, but it don't look like it is.
and sometimes these properties may have more than one.
Well, right now, according to the survey,
This is it?
this is the only one.
Okay, then. Okay.
But another, you know,
what's the pump?
This is like a little pump house they built around it is all.
Oh.
You're not required to cover it. No. See, yeah. So when your motor itself is above ground like this, that's going to tell you it's a fairly shallow well. So probably
25.
I can just tell you less than 100 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. And,
I was thinking about 25.
so our water table's pretty high out here. You don't really have to go that far to hit water. Now, the deeper you go to take your source from, typically you get less odor. You know what I mean? The water just because it just gets filtered more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the deeper you go, the better. And an above ground pump or in below ground pump, they both have their advantages and their disadvantages to them. Submersible pumps clearly aren't going to lose their prime because they're sitting down in the water.
Yeah.
You know, if they stop pushing water, your well's going dry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But on the downside of them is if it's mechanical and stuff. So if it starts giving you trouble, they're much more expensive to work on. Because you got to get a well cover, you got to unpop the cap, you got to pull the whole thing out. You know what I mean? So they're more expensive to have them worked on. Whereas here, you have more of an issue of if you get a little leak on it or something, it starts sucking air. You can lose prime and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? But again, the flip side of it is if you have to work on it, it's all right here for you.
So then
You
what's
know,
this then?
this is a pressure tank. Okay, this tank is going to have right about there, there's a rubber bladder across the top, and the way that it holds our pressure is you can't really compress water, right? So let me find it here.